Hi, ladies, and welcome to today's session. I'm so excited to begin the month of self-love and confidence with incredible workshop lined up for you. So welcome to everyone who's joining us live or watching this video on a replay. Like I said, this month is Self-Love and Confidence Month within the Women in Business community. And today is the very first workshop of this month. And today we'll be talking about why self-love is the first step to success in life. And today I have Katie Bollanu joining us from UK.
Yes, from
UK.
UK.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi there. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I know you have been preparing so much for this workshop to deliver an incredible session today. So I'm really excited about hosting you today.
Thank you. I'm so honored.
So, ladies, use the chat box feature. Let us know where you're joining us from today as well. And I can already see Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Good to have you here from West Yorkshire. And Shanti from, I'm Dion from Chicago. Good to have you here, Dion. And I know there are a few more ladies joining us live today. So make sure you use the chat box feature and introduce yourselves. Let us know what business you have, and we'll ask you some more questions throughout this workshop, but would love to get to know you as well a little bit. So as I said, today we'll be talking about why self-love is the first step to success in life, and it's running with the theme of self-love and confidence of this month within the members community. So I'm really pleased to present to you Katie Bollanu, and I will just read out a little bit of an introduction about Katie so you can get to know her and why we're hosting her today. So Kate was raised in a mixed race family with her Asian side, setting very strict limitations on her. Having spent the first decade of her life as a timid person trying to conform to those expectations and please her family, Kate realized that she wasn't reaching her full potential. Her wake-up call was when she had her first daughter and vowed that she would let her own personality flourish, stopping generations of female suppressions. Seeing how confident and outspoken my two girls are makes me realize how important it is to honor and love yourself in order to succeed, Kate said to me. So taking her passion for women empowerment into her coaching business, Kate now helps women to find their voice and speak up so they can get what they truly want in life. She believes that with the right mindset, skills, and methodologies, all women can express what they want with confidence and assertiveness. So Kate, welcome to today's session. Super grateful for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
I'd love for you to just give you a little introduction about yourself. Obviously, I've read about you and what you stand for and a little bit about your background, but I'd love for you to give a little introduction about yourself as well.
Sure. So thank you for reading the introduction. And as you said, coming from a mixed race family was quite challenging for myself. And I only realized when I grew up. I was born and raised in Greece, so everything was more westernized, but I had the influence from my home, from my mother, teaching me how a good girl should be and how a good girl should behave. And that was quite restricted. I could compare myself with my friends even when I was a child, and I could see that I wasn't the same. So I always felt different, but in a bad way. I always felt that I couldn't be as confident as my friends were, or I couldn't progress as fast as my friends could. I couldn't make friends easily because I was so shy, so timid. I wouldn't express my feelings. I couldn't defend myself. So I ended up shrinking myself, which was so limiting. And then unfortunately, this continued into my adulthood. So in my early 20s, I found myself even at work, letting other people step all over me, or demanding from me to do something. And even though inside me I felt it was wrong, I would still do it because I was afraid I would disappoint them, or I was thinking I would be disrespectful or not a good employee, because subconsciously that's what I had in mind. No matter what I would say, that I was a strong person and I was doing whatever I can, but subconsciously was determining my behavior and my way of thinking. Then fast forward when I came to England, and my mind opened up, and then I met people from other cultures, so many people who had similar experiences like me, and who came from different backgrounds, different than Greek or genuinely Greek.
Yeah.
It helped me gain experiences and knowledge, and actually opened my eyes, and I realized that what I've been through was not actually just me being a shy person. It wasn't a personality trait. It was something that was imposed to me by the expectations of my culture, or my mother's culture, because I never really felt Asian. I always felt Greek with an influence from the Philippines, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So my wake up call was when I had my first daughter, as you said, and I felt more, this mama bear instinct, trying to protect her and thinking about everything I've been through, and then realizing that some of these experiences were not normal or shouldn't have happened. And then it empowered me to think and make a decision that I won't let that happen to my daughter. So, of course, I know as a mother, I'm going to make my own mistakes, but I'm making sure that I'm not repeating the mistakes that happened to my mom, to my grandmother, to generations back in my family. So we had other incidents as well that empowered me. One was that I lost, when my first daughter turned 1, I lost my younger sister. So that shocked me a lot. And I just realized that anything could happen at any time. And unfortunately, something that we take for granted, our life, or that we will wake up the next morning and it's fine. It's fine if I don't try today. I can just try tomorrow. Actually, we shouldn't take it for granted, because you never know what can happen. So that was a shock. Then I had my daughter. Then, all the pressure of living abroad by ourselves and trying to raise a family while working at a day job made me push myself a bit and think, okay, I need to change things and I need to make it happen. So that was the beginning of my transformation. And that was when I started realizing that, all right, there were some issues, not my fault, but I can stop them. It's my responsibility to stop them. It's my responsibility to make myself happy.
Yeah.
So it was a long journey, a long process. I had to brainstorm, and I had to read a lot, and I went into therapy in order, to to heal my inner child, which helped a lot and made me understand a lot for myself, which I took for granted because I thought it was just, as I said, my personality, but it wasn't. So it made me realize that we have the power to change, and it's actually possible. And as soon as you feel and you realize that you have the power and you are capable enough, and that you're actually worthy of changing your past. Well, let me rephrase, not changing your past, but accepting it and changing your future, then anything is achievable. So yes, that was my journey in a summary, and I'm so excited that I'm able to share it with other women. And my aim with that is to empower and show them and motivate them that no matter where they come from or what experience they had or what their cultural expectations are, they can still make it happen. They can still live authentically and just go after their dreams.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. I love your story, and I think it's so empowering to hear what you've been through and all these things that perhaps held you back and you didn't realize that actually these were limitations that put on to me based on my culture and somebody else's beliefs, which then transpired into you feeling suppressed or not confident in yourself.
Not good enough. That's what I always felt.
Yeah.
For anything. I remember saying, I was laughing when I was saying, but I have no talent. I have nothing. But oh my goodness, did I know? I didn't know how bad that sounded. I just thought, okay, it's fine.
Yeah. And that's where self-love comes from, because for you to be talking to yourself that way.
Oh my God, I would never say that to anyone else.
Powerful. Exactly. You wouldn't say to someone you have no talents, you're not able to do this, you're not even worthy of doing this. You as a fellow woman, you probably wouldn't say that to somebody else.
Never to anyone.
So why should we talk to ourselves like that?
I know.
But that's what this comes down to, like
Yeah.
self-love and acceptance and
Yeah,
healing whatever the past that we have had before.
And you know what's very powerful? The moment that you realize that something is wrong. If you're not aware that something is wrong, there's no way you can correct it. But the moment you open up your mind and your eyes to what your situation is and why it is the way it is, then you're taking your first step to changing it.
Yeah. I'm really glad today is the first session of this month's series, because I believe that with this session, we're really starting from the very beginning, which is the realizations of things that's holding us back.
Yeah.
Where does the issue of confidence begin? And I think that's a really, really powerful with your story, taking it right to the beginnings of it and building from that, because confidence doesn't happen overnight.
Oh, no.
It's a journey, it's a discovery, it's a work in progress. It's like a daily things, daily choices that we make.
Yes.
And it's the continuous work. So, one session isn't going to make it feel better, or yes, it might make you feel better, but it's not going to achieve transformation, because only if you start to believe and accept and learn and implement and make the right choices for yourself and stop the self-talk, the negative self-talk. Over time, the transformation will happen. So, Kate, let's dive into your workshop. I can't wait to get started.
So, let me just share my screen.
Sure. And ladies, while Kate is bringing her screen up, chat box feature, let us know if confidence was one of the things that have held you back so far. Has it played a part in your life? Would love to hear some of your stories. And you can, feel safe in this environment, because there are just a few ladies on the workshop, and these comments will not be going out to, general public. So it's a safe environment for us to explore this subject and see what's really holding us back. And Rachel says, yes, absolutely, in the past. So, it's a journey. Self-discovery, self-love, and confidence is a journey. So Kate, over to you to deliver your incredible workshop today.
Perfect. Let's start. So as I'm sharing my screen, I won't be able to see the comments. So if there's anything, please let me know. If there's any question, I would love to hear from the ladies who are attending and to answer the questions. So let's check. Can you see my slides?
I can absolutely see your slides. Perfect. And I had just one more comment before we begin.
Okay.
So a lady saying, sorry, Sugar Bags, could you tell me your name as well, so it'd be easier to address? So she's from Nigeria, so I understand the low self-esteem from the culture. So culture plays a big part in this.
It does. And I've spoken to several women who have confirmed the same feelings, but it's actually a taboo to talk about it, because we've all felt that it's quite insulting to our culture to speak about that. It's like we're rejecting them. Well, actually, we're not. It has nothing to do against our culture. It's just about, the mentality that has been imposed to us.
Yeah.
So shall we begin?
Yes, go for it.
Perfect. So as we said, we're talking about self-love and how this is your first step to a successful life. So beginning, I would like to say that self-love is natural. We were all born with an inherent sense of self-love and self-trust. As babies, we didn't doubt ourselves or worry whether other people like us. We loved attention and we always thrived on it. Have you ever noticed how babies love playing with a stranger who smiled at them? But unfortunately, as we grow up and we are being corrected and told off, we lose our self-love. We receive messages that go unprocessed and unfiltered to our subconscious mind, comments that might seem trivial to the person, and usually that's the adult, let's say parents and grandparents who say them, might have a big negative impact on the receiver's perceptions of herself. The good news is that we can restore self-love and make it even stronger by using some practices in our life. So we'll start with forms of self-love. And the first one is pampering. So these are the first things that come into our minds. Let's say a day off from work or from taking care of our family. They're very important to make us feel more relaxed, happy, and special, of course. Then moving on are things that we can do for our mind and our soul. These are habits that have a deeper meaning and usually a long-lasting impact on us. For example, I've recently started meditating, and as I'm new to this, I have been using guided meditation to help me focus. Also, being mindful and present makes you enjoy and appreciate what you already have. Because we often forget that there was a time that we used to wish for what we have right now, don't we? Yeah, don't take it for granted. Just appreciate what you already have, and just think about what it took you to achieve or to reach this point. Another point is, if you want and if you're open to this, try to practice spirituality and just find what resonates with you. Physical forms of self-love. Following a good quality diet that suits you, your culture and your beliefs, because we all have something different. Taking rest so your body can rejuvenate itself. Finding a type of exercise that actually gives you pleasure and keeps you motivated to do it as often as possible. For example, I've tried gym so many times and oh my goodness, it's so hard for me because I don't enjoy it. So I found something different. I actually love power Pilates, and it has bigger impact because you can see results faster, and I can only go 2 or 3 times per week, and it's more than enough. That keeps me happy, so that keeps me motivated.
And I suppose that's what self-love is about, doing something that you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Allowing yourself to choose not a gym, but an exercise that you would rather do.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that you enjoy and that you see results from. Then regarding supplements, check if you have any deficiencies and take the right supplements for your body. So I don't recommend going, for example, to Boots and or to the pharmacy and taking something over the counter. You need to check what your own body needs. And then if you're open to this, try alternative therapies in order to have a more preventative approach. So as a chiropractor, I've been going to a chiropractor for the past few years, and I had a very good experience, so I would totally recommend that. They were the only ones who were able to find my allergy in dairy, which is ironic. And they were also the only ones who were able to regulate my menstrual cycle without any hormones after a decade of using hormonal pills.
Wow.
It's it's amazing. And if you don't have the experience yourself, sometimes you don't really believe it. I've had some of these reactions, but yeah, I would totally recommend that. And then something more accessible and something more natural, like going for a walk, taking a break from your work and going outside to notice the environment around you. And then moving on, in this workshop, we're going to focus on the 2 last forms of self-love. The one in relation to yourself, like self-respect, self-worth, and having high standards for your life and practicing compassion for yourself. And then in relation to others, which is very, very important. So healthy boundaries, choosing the right people, stopping any comparison of yourself to others. Something very important that is very common, stopping people pleasing. I'm guilty of that. I used to be a people pleaser. And when you realize your self-worth, you won't have the need for external validation or approval. So let's dive into the forms of self-love in relation to yourself.
Yeah.
So self-respect is how you present yourself and how you carry yourself will always determine people's first impressions of you. And although we always hear the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover, we also know that first impressions last. So learning also how to manage your own emotions is key to how you position yourself in your relationships. In the same spectrum, we always hear, how we need to be authentic and vulnerable. So being authentic and a woman of her word will always gain respect. But regarding being vulnerable, I need to say something because I've seen I've seen it from myself, my own experience, like opening up and speaking about my own experiences in order to, let's say, give permission to other women to also speak up, is choosing the right time and trying to be mindful of what to say to whom. So I would say be careful not to overshare, as you always need to be selective about what to share with whom and when, because some people might not be ready or even willing to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes this, might trigger, let's say, bad reactions. Moving on to self-worth, is knowing that you matter, that you're important and unique will boost your self-esteem. So know and accept that we are all different and that is okay. Your feelings, emotions, and opinions do matter. So don't hesitate to express them. Honor yourself and your desires. Don't shrink out of fear that you'll be judged. A trap that I've previously fallen into myself, and this is an example that I did in my career, is trying to prove to everyone, and first and foremost to myself, that I deserve what I've already achieved and what I'm trying to achieve by enrolling to numerous courses and certifications. Because that justified, if I had the certificate, I could say, okay, I've earned it, or I've paid for it, I've paid for my place.
Yeah.
So, that's something that so many women do, to be honest.
I know, it's just like we feel like, oh, we need another paper
Yes,
to
to
validate
justify,
it.
yes, to justify what we've got. And believe me, if you're confident in yourself, you'll see that you don't really need this. And
Yeah.
I'm not, what's the right words? I'm not saying that studying or enrolling into courses is useless, because I've done
Mhm.
it and I love it actually, and I will still do it. But it's for me now because I
Yeah.
want to learn more. It's not for me to validate or justify what, let's say, my business is doing or what I'm charging. It's for me, for my own growth, and my own growth will also support my clients. So yes, we're all a work in progress. So don't wait until you gain a PhD in your area before you put yourself out there. You are enough.
I love that.
Having high standards, but setting high standards for yourself in a healthy way. So pushing yourself to do better in areas of your life. Let's say you're at the gym or working out in general, you're parenting, as a successful business owner, or as a confused first time sole trader. We've all been there. In your eating habits, I was reading the other day about eating habits and how it's so difficult for us to change diets. And I read somewhere that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. No wonder why we all struggle to, stop eating sweets and chocolates. It's so difficult. So all this requires tremendous willpower, self-discipline, and self-motivation day in and day out. So regarding the dreams, I want you to dream big because you know you can make it happen and you know that you totally deserve it. So at the same time, when things don't go the way that you want them to go, be compassionate. Pick yourself up and just examine what went wrong so you can change it next time. That's what a growth mindset is all about, not giving up. So don't waste time beating yourself up for something that happened in the past. Instead, focus on the lesson you learned from that failed attempt. And again, it's not a failure, it's a failed attempt. So be kind, compassionate, and patient with yourself. So, in relations to others, choosing the right people. I know you've heard it so many times, but it's so, so, so important. So choose to be around positive people with high energy rather than people who always find something wrong. Choose your circle wisely from your partner, your friends, your business besties. And something sensitive here is regarding relatives. Remember that just because you're related doesn't mean that you should always get along. And keep in mind that just because you're related doesn't mean that they can mistreat you for any reason. Sometimes, we find it as an excuse that we're family and then we don't respect each other as much as we should,
Yeah.
or we take it for granted that, we're family. It's
Yeah.
fine
Yeah.
if we
Or
do.
it's, it's okay to say certain things when actually you wouldn't say that to a stranger.
No, because you're afraid that you will lose that person. For example, if it's your partner or your best friend, sometimes you hesitate to say that. And probably that's a good thing sometimes, because, people can be rude.
Yeah,
So,
but things hurt. Words can really hurt. And
yeah.
especially when it comes from someone really close. And, we're coming back to that family and culture.
Mm.
When it comes from your mother, your brother, your sister,
Oh, yes.
it's so hurtful.
Very
So,
hurtful.
and setting those boundaries with other people and saying, doesn't matter you're my family, you have to treat me with respect.
Yes, I totally agree. And you know what I think is very important to mention here is that, let's say with first degree family, let's say parents and siblings, people expect you to get along all the time. So let's say if you have a toxic relationship with one of your parents, if you love and respect yourself, it's your responsibility to yourself to go away from that person,
Mm,
even if that person is your mother or your father. These are the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally and support you. They're supposed to bring joy in your life, not to make it worse or not to bring you down.
yeah.
So if these people, no matter if they're your family, bring you down, I'm really sorry. My opinion is that you have to go away from them, and then forget about the pressure of our society to get along with our family. I'm sorry, it works both ways. If they don't respect me or they don't love me and support me, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to be a victim of a bad behavior just because we're related and just because I want to avoid people talking about us.
Mm,
Yeah.
so,
So yeah, that's so important, and very the pressure from the society is so big. So yes, moving on to healthy boundaries. It's again with anyone in your life, as I said. So being able to set boundaries is also about teaching them to respect you, your personal space, your time, and your individuality. Learning how to say no without feeling guilty. Again, so important. Say no. Or learning to say no without over explaining yourself. I used to do that. I used to do that all the time. I would say no and I would say the truth, but sometimes you don't even have to say anything. You can say just, thank you, but no, not this time.
yeah,
You don't have to over explain yourself or worry that you're going to disappoint them.
because it just shows that again, you don't value yourself or you're
Mm,
trying to explain your worth. You absolutely don't need to do that. You
no,
just say no because that's my boundary. Don't be
exactly.
taken for granted or
Exactly. It shows that you lack self-esteem, that you don't value yourself.
mm,
Start explaining why you can't do something. And yeah, speak your mind up because you know what you want and what you feel is important. So voice it. If you don't voice it, you're just letting yourself down and you're making yourself sad, angry, and full of resentment because, then you go home and you keep on repeating that scene all over in your head. I've done it. Like I was thinking, for example, if I had something at work, I would go back home in the evening and I would think about the same incident for how many hours, thinking what I could have said in order to prevent what happened in the end. But you can avoid that if you learn how to speak up the right moment. So, no comparison. Guilty again. We've all done that. So, this is something very tricky as we all tend to see what others do and what others achieve, and then look at where we are, forgetting again what it took in order to reach that point, and then feel defeated. Remember to focus on yourself and your own unique path. Try to be better every day, but better than yourself yesterday. Learn something new and take one step at a time. That people pleasing. So people pleasing, guilty again. So yes, most of this stuff actually come from previous experience.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
why it's so powerful. You're sharing what you've learned along the way.
Indeed, and hopefully people don't, or the ladies who are watching this, won't have to repeat my own mistakes, and they will be able to, learn from my own experience and how I overcome this. So no people pleasing, please. Stop worrying about what people might say or think about you, because remember, this is a reflection of who they are. We can't please everyone, and we shouldn't even try to please everyone. It's not our job to make them happy. Our job is to make ourselves happy.
Yeah.
Once we realize that, it's so powerful. And then, no external validation or approval needed. I also used to lack self-trust, and I would always ask everyone else what they thought or what they do in my place, while silencing my inner voice. Deep inside, I kind of knew what was right for me, but I had to ask someone. I had to get their approval and say, okay, if she would do it, then it's the right thing to do. The root of that was in my childhood, coming from a strict upbringing where taking initiative was not rewarded. Trust that you know better what your desires are, what you can and you should get guidance from more experienced people, but you don't need their approval. So again, if someone has been through what you are going through or what you want to do, and they're, let's say, one step ahead of you, yes, do get their advice or guidance, but listen to your inner voice. We're all unique. So, moving on to the other one, signs that you need to practice more self-love. Feeling tired physically and emotionally. Constantly worried about disappointing others. Having low esteem and low self-esteem and confidence. Not feeling strong or brave enough to pursue your dreams. And doubting yourself and your capabilities. Something very important is how...
Can we just come back to the previous slide for a second?
Mhm.
And I want to ask ladies joining on the session today if you can see yourself on this slide, if any of the things that's stated here actually resonates with you of where you are on the journey right now. So, if you're not feeling strong or brave enough to pursue your dreams, or you're kind of doubting yourself. So if you don't mind bringing it forward, would love to bring this into discussion a little bit. And what are your signs of needing more practice of self-love and compassion towards yourself and on your journey to finding more confidence? So sorry, Kate, can carry on.
No, it's fine. I would love to hear from them. So we can also, share our opinions, share advice. I think the moment I realized that I lacked self-love was when I was still in employment, and this event of something happening at work and then going back home in the evening and just thinking about that event all over and over again, I realized that okay, there's something wrong there, because I felt this knot on my throat that I want to speak up, but something is holding me back. But I need to say something, but I shouldn't say something. And then I would resent myself, like why did I let that happen? Why did I let them do this to me? Because I allowed it. And once I was aware of that it's not my fault what they did. So their actions are their actions. But the thing that I allowed them or the events to make me feel in a certain way was 100% my responsibility to fix.
So powerful, that recognition, isn't it? Making that choice,
Yes.
right there or then, or coming back to that situation. Because if you keep allowing it to happen, it's just going to keep crushing you down.
Yeah, definitely. And then you're in a victim mode. You don't take responsibility. You don't take ownership of the situation of your life. That's not empowering at all. When you feel as a victim and as if everything is happening against you and that you have no power to fix it, yes, then that's your reality. You have no power to fix it because that's what you think.
Yeah. Amazing.
So if there aren't any comments, because I can't see them, please let me know. So now, let's say we have seen some signs and we need some more self-love. Let's see how this affects your future. So by holding yourself back, you're doing absolutely no good to you or others. You're missing opportunities that can transform your life because you don't love or trust yourself unconditionally to go after them boldly. And that brings us to the next point, which is denying yourself fulfillment and joy. How can you be truly happy if you don't live the way you want to? If you live according to the shoulds and musts of your family, of your culture, and of your environment, you end up living for others, wasting precious time you have alive. So you let them dictate what your life should be like according to what they find convenient for themselves. So let me ask you this question. How do you imagine yourself in a few decades? Will you be proud of what you've done and who you've become? Or will you be full of regret, wishing you were more confident, stronger, and bolder with your dreams? Let me give you a few seconds for that.
Oh man, it just hits home right now, saying, you know, in 10 years, 15 years,
Mm,
will you be full of regret? Because if you
exactly.
haven't taken those chances, if you
Mm,
haven't stepped up for yourself, if you
mhm,
weren't confident, you're gonna be kicking yourself in the butt.
mm.
And that just becomes so real right now.
You cannot turn back time, unfortunately. And when I speak to women who are older than me, I always hear this. If only I was more confident in my 20s. If only I was more if I felt brave enough in my 30s to do this. And this can affect, all areas of your life. It can affect your work, your relationships. I've heard from a lot of women saying, if only I was braver to leave that relationship, which might have ended to a marriage. And then, the more you are getting used to a situation, the harder it is to get out of.
The same about starting in business as well, because it takes a lot of courage to start a business.
Mm.
A lot of women don't take that step because they're scared, they're worried, or they don't believe in themselves, and
Mm.
it just holds them back. And for
Mm.
many things, not just business, but taking our career to the next stage or whatever it is,
Yeah.
if the confidence is holding you back,
Mm.
it's just stopping you from being the best version or achieving your best potential.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I also experienced that in my career, which was, the end of my career as a shipbroker, because I realized that after being in the company for 6 years, the men were still taking more than me with no excuse. I mean, there was nothing more than they were doing. And the towards the end, I had a colleague of mine who joined 2 years after than me.
Mm-hmm.
He was taking the same amount of money with my other colleagues who were more senior than me. And that made no sense to me because I understood that two other people were taking more money than me because they were more experienced, they were longer in the company. They were men, of course. I was the only female broker. But then when the new person came 2 years after me, he also took the same money as the other guys because he was also a man. So when I stepped up and when I spoke up and I, found the courage and I did everything right, and when the meeting came, it was a very complicated situation because I was also pregnant. The end result was that I was made redundant.
Wow.
Yes, and I was pregnant with my second child. I was 6 months pregnant in a company that I had been with for 6 years. Why? Because they didn't expect me to speak up. They didn't know how to handle it. And then they used the redundancy when we all knew, all the employees knew that it's not that they couldn't afford me because being redundant is, the company not being able to pay your position. We all knew it was because I asked for a pay rise and because I was expecting a second child and they didn't like that.
Wow.
So yeah, there are consequences, but you have to be ready to face them, and you have to know that if it goes down that route, I can do this, or if it goes the other route, I will do that. But yeah, everything worked for the best. So I think I kind of manifested that redundancy because I wanted to go into coaching anyway. That was my
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's, as I say, things happen for a reason. You've learned a lesson. And, by stepping up at that right moment,
mm,
you owned your power, you owned your voice.
Raymond, I felt so powerful. They gave me my redundancy letter and I felt so powerful. Honestly, that sounds ironic, but I did feel that finally I spoke up and I was ready for the consequences. And I wanted the consequence. I wanted to leave that job anyway. But, yeah, it looked a bit worse than it was. to the outside world.
Mm.
But as you said, everything works for the best.
Yeah.
So let's move on. So what can you achieve if you actually work on your confidence and you have the right skills and methodologies to go for what you want in life? So healthier relationships, better and more balanced relationships with your family in general. But I've seen that the most difficult relationships to handle are usually the parents and the in-laws, because these are the people who trigger feelings that we had as children. So learning the skills to stand up for yourself with grace and respect is one of the strongest ways to free yourself from any limitations you have been carrying from your childhood. And again, this is something I faced difficulties with myself, as my fear of speaking up came from my mother not allowing me to express my opinion without being punished, as this was considered disrespectful. Similarly to the first point is the relationship that you have with your partner. No more expectations of reading each other's minds. You're able now to express your feelings and what you need, and the communication gets so much better. So have the confidence of expressing your thoughts and your feelings. Take your relationship where you want it to be. Promotions and pay rises. So very crucial area to practice the confidence and the skills of speaking up is your career, because you'll be able to draw the boundaries with your superiors and your colleagues. You'll be able to ask for bigger deals and projects, pay raises and promotions. You'll even find the courage to look for another job if your current one no longer fulfills you. So for the majority of the women who are members, I'm sure you're all familiar with the ups and downs of having your own business. Being confident, heard a giggle there. Being confident enough and knowing how to stand up for what you believe and what it is you want to achieve in this world with your business is detrimental in your success as a business owner. So the moment you make that shift in your mindset and then use the right skills and strategies to take actions towards your dreams is the moment you start practicing the ultimate form of self-love and become unstoppable. The first person you should love unconditionally is yourself.
Absolutely. Love that. That was just so powerful.
Going back to you.
Let me just help you there.
There we are.
There we are. What an incredibly powerful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies, let us know in the chat box how you're feeling after the session. If anything that Kate said is resonating with you, and where, maybe you have some questions for Kate as well. Maybe you have a specific question that we could address in today's session as well. By being live, you get the opportunity to ask these questions, as opposed to the people who are perhaps watching this on replay as well. So, Kate, I wanted to ask you if, let's say, some ladies wanted to connect with you, especially for those that may be watching this on replay and didn't get the opportunity to ask you questions in person, how can anyone connect with you?
So the easiest way is to go into Facebook. I have my profile as Kate Bollanu. I interact a lot from my personal page, and then I have my business page, which is Kate Bollanu Coaching. Mm-hmm. But then, if they want to understand a bit more from me and get some strategies and skills to be more confident and being able to speak up in any area of their life, my group is called Queen Bee Tribe. Assertive and confident women.
Amazing. Well, if you'd like to, you can post a link here, and maybe some ladies would like to actually join.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I realized that a lot of women actually struggle with this area, and we talked about what is self-love, and self-love, a lot of people, as you say, kind of perceive it as taking a bath or meditation or doing yoga. But this is completely different approach. And this is very different to
very powerful
the whole meaning. Yeah, so Devin says very powerful words. Thank you.
I think it's deeper because taking a bath and having a day off is so important to make you feel more relaxed, to take some rest, physically and mentally. But then you have to think about how you perceive yourself in your daily life and how do you present yourself in all areas of your life. I mean, if you are, I'll take as an example myself. if, let's say, I continue the legacy, I could say ironically, of what has been happening and taking place in my family, in the women of my family, then what kind of a role model will I be for my girls? And I know it's a taboo subject for so many women to talk about, because they feel that, talking about your culture and how it holds you back can be insulting, or they're afraid that the others from their culture might feel that they're rejecting them. It's actually not. It's about owning your power. And I'm still respectful to my mother's culture,
Mm.
her country, but then I need to honor my feelings, and I have something more important than thinking about what other people will think. I have myself, first of all, my sanity, my
Yeah.
health, and
Yeah.
then I have a family to raise. I have two young daughters. I need them to see that I'm strong. And there are moments that I feel down. There are moments that I also feel weak. I'm a human being. I try to, pick myself up and think and practice what I preach. And I want them to see that no matter, what you've been through or where you're coming from, what the expectations were imposed on you by third people, that no
Mm.
matter what these are, you can still make it happen. You can still find the power within you, find your voice, and use the right skills or find the right moments and technique to
Yeah.
speak up and start taking ownership of your life. That's the only way to be happy. That's the only way to honor yourself, to love yourself. I
Mm.
love having my nails done, but that's
Yeah.
permanent, isn't sorry, that's what do you
It's
want?
external, isn't it? It's not.
It's not, and it's not permanent.
Yeah. It's not going to make an impact
Mm.
because, if you feel confident, naturally, all those things that you'll start to take care of yourself more and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're not confident, no matter how much external stuff you will do, confidence won't come if you
Yeah.
carry on talking, having your internal self-sabotaging talk.
Mm.
If you continue not voicing what you feel or standing up for yourself. I think
Mm.
that's so important because in life, especially with people who are not very confident, they tend to be taken for granted.
Mm.
Other
Yes.
people tend to take an advantage of them
Yes.
or try and push them to do things that they might not want to do,
Yeah.
or they feel that, oh my God, not I'm not truly giving my value, I'm not living my true worth.
Mm.
I think if we keep allowing other people to do that, it would just keep diminishing us. It will keep pressing us down. And in business, especially in business, that happens so much. Other people, organizations, people in collaborations, partnerships, even
Mm.
your business partners could take advantage of you
Yeah.
if you don't feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, emotionally, it could really, really affect you. And I've seen it, I've had that happen to me, and it still happens to me as well. Even if you are confident, it doesn't mean
Work in progress.
that you're protected from these things happening because these things will continue to
Yeah.
happen. And what I find that it comes down to is that daily choice.
Yeah.
It's what you choose to
Mm.
do and
Mm.
how you choose to stand up for yourself or
Mm.
handle that particular situation that
Mm.
comes down to whether people will come back and try and treat you again the same way.
Yeah, 'cause you actually teach them how to treat you. If you allow them to step all over you, you teach them that they can do it. They
Yeah.
will come again and again and again. The moment you speak up, like I did when I was employed, the moment you speak up, you catch them off guard, so they don't know how to react because they don't expect it from you.
Yeah.
In their mind, you're someone who never speaks up, too shy, who will always say yes.
Yeah.
And then the moment you say no and you start setting boundaries, it's the moment that, they're very, very surprised because they're used to that. It's just a
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah. It comes down to, our partners, our families, our
Yes.
kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For example, um, how many men think that house chores are the responsibility of women? I'm very lucky to not being in that situation, but I was very lucky from home because my father showed me that men can do chores. My father was helping around the house. So again, that works so much, from what you have in your mind subconsciously. So as a little girl, I saw that in my home happening. My father was cooking, my father was helping my mother. So for me, it was natural. I don't think I would ever be in a long-term relationship with someone who would think that these things are for me. When for me, the normal thing was men helping their women. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, so she had more time at home than, for example, I used to, or I have right now. But all these little details are are showing the other person, let's say your partner, how to behave. So if let's say I accepted someone, if I let someone believe that, let's say a partner of mine believe that, yes, these are my responsibility, the house chores, of course they would leave it for me.
Yeah.
I allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So sometimes they say if a relationship breaks, friendship, love between lovers or in a family, if a relationship breaks, both of them have what's the expression?
Part to play.
Say again?
They both got a part to play.
Yes, they do. Because you might not actively do something, but how did your behavior or your way of thinking allow that to happen? And that's what's
Encouraged it
painful.
even.
Yes, it hurts. You know why? Because sometimes something bad will happen and so obvious that that person did it and not you.
Yeah.
But then tell me, how did you allow this to happen? So yeah, that's
Kate, I think I'm making my partner do the chores tonight. I think you inspired me to make him do the dishes this evening. So yeah, practicing what we preach, isn't it?
Yes. And as you said, we're not perfect. We all fall into the trap of whatever we're discussing, but it's the daily choice. So it's not bad to admit that, okay, yes, you know what, this happened and I didn't speak up, which is what I preach, right? It still happens.
Yeah. You can
And then
catch
I
your
learned from that.
guard very quickly, just like the first intention, oh yeah, that's fine. And then you like, no, hold on a second. Let me look and reassess the situation. Am I doing this right? And again, it just comes back to pulling ourselves back and saying,
Yeah.
does this serve my bigger purpose? Does this actually say to the world that I am self-worthy?
Yeah. And actually, I have a very, very recent example of, me doing what me not doing what I preach. So back in December, I went to the Philippines to visit my family for 5 weeks. So my husband came on the third week to join us, because first I went with the girls. And we said, okay, let's take 4 days holidays, just the two of us, leave the kids with my parents. Finally, let's have some time alone. So second day, we went to the spa. Of course, I wanted to have a massage. Self-love, right? And then the aircon was very strong. It was very cold. And we go in, and I tell my husband in Greek, oh, it's so cold here. I said, it's fine. I was cold. So we go there, and of course, you stay with your underwear, and I lie down, and I still feel cold. In my mind, I'm thinking all the time, oh, so cold, so cold, so cold. Why didn't I speak up? Raimonda, I got such a bad cold. For the next 10 days, which means the rest of our holidays, I had such a high fever, 38, 40 degrees.
Oh no.
Feeling so weak, I couldn't eat. And yeah, why did this happen? I didn't speak up for something so small.
Yeah.
And then, after 30 minutes of being, freezing cold, I said, excuse me, can you please switch off? Please switch it off. So simple. Why didn't I say that from the very beginning? I ruined their holidays because I didn't speak up. And I couldn't do anything to fix it. I was taking so many medicines. And, I tried to go naturally, but there was no way I could heal myself. So I had to take so many medicines. And yeah, that's an example of not having the
so simple that affects you.
so simple. And then I was feeling how ironic. I'm the one teaching other women how to speak up. I'm the one saying all the time, speak up, speak up, speak up. I'm the one here sitting, not being able to enjoy my holiday because I didn't just say, switch off the aircon. Very simple.
Simple things that, sometimes catches us off guard as well. So there you are.
Indeed.
Kate Ross says, "You're very inspiring, Kate. Speaking up for myself is definitely something I shy away from, and yet speaking up for other people is
Yes.
something I do naturally."
Yes, Kate, you're very right. And nice to see you again here, because they say when women speak up for other women, especially, is again the mama bear instinct. And that happens. Think about, when you are in a business situation. So I have a very good idea and I'm trying to promote it. What's going on in my head? Is it good enough? When will I say it? Will they approve? Will they judge me? And then I have you, for example, and you're sitting next to me, and you know how good my idea is, and you start talking about it and promoting it and pushing it and saying how good it is. Because you're protecting me. It's your instinct.
Mm.
But then if it goes, again, if it changes and you have the idea, you might find yourself, keeping yourself back. And
Yeah.
then, what happens naturally is I'm going to say, Raymond, this idea is amazing. She's doing that, and why don't we try it? Because we feel that if we promote ourselves, it's some kind of, being arrogant. Which is not, you just have to value yourself and know that, I have something good. I will have to push it. I'll have to promote it.
And that's something in the English culture that's very prominent in terms of not promoting ourselves, or not,
Is it?
not boasting about ourselves. That's something very, very prominent. And I think, again, it comes back to the culture. So how can we overcome that belief in sharing more of our stories and speaking up for ourselves?
I think generally, if you try to become realistic, so for women, what works better is if we take, let's say, our project and think about it as if it was someone else's project. So take your emotions out of that, and take all your doubts and let's say all the good and bad emotions, because usually when it's your own, you have more negative emotions. So think about it as a project of someone else and just value it. Is it serving its purpose? Is it actually giving value to, let's say, our customers or to our partners? Is it good enough? No emotions attached. If it is, then congratulations, it's yours. You should be proud of yourself. Present it. Find the words, prepare for it, because that might help. Because if you're not naturally speaking up for yourself and being able to promote yourself, then it helps to have some kind of preparation, mental and actual, for the project. So find the confidence by preparing yourself.
Kate, I know a little secret of yours.
Tell me, what is it? I'm scared now.
I know you're a co-author of an incredible book.
Okay, that's a good secret. Yes.
Which you haven't even mentioned, and I'm holding you accountable now. Why haven't you posted about it yet?
Yeah, so I'm a co-author of a book. Thanks for mentioning that. And it has become a #1 international bestseller, which I'm very proud of, to be honest.
Wow.
And it's called She's Unstoppable, Volume 1. And we recently had our launch party in New York. It was a couple of weeks ago. And it went very well. It's going really well. And again, the whole point of this collaboration of the 12 women that we're sharing our story is to motivate other women. And we all have something different to give our readers. Show them that none of us had it easy, and none of us had, something ready from, let's say, parents.
Yeah.
But no matter what we've been through and no matter where we've come from, we are taking the steps towards our dreams. So yeah, something I'm very proud of, and thank you for mentioning that. It wasn't that at all.
I see that as like the ultimate speaking up. Writing a book and getting up on stage to present your book and showing to the world that you actually have a voice. That's the ultimate way of saying, I have a voice and I have a powerful message to share.
True. I honestly feel that the more I practice it, so again, it comes down, confidence comes with action. So the more I talk about it, the more I promote it, the more I, give it to people, I realize myself that, oh my goodness, my words are powerful. There's so many women out there who have similar experiences to me, who think that, because they come from a different culture or from a mixed culture family, they think it's a taboo to actually say, I'm feeling suppressed. I love and honor my family. I love and honor my culture, but this is not me. And I need to step up my game, and I need to live authentically, because
Mhm.
otherwise I'm going to regret it. So if there's any woman who is watching this and feels the same way as I used to, and is waiting for some kind of sign or approval, this is it. This is it. Don't wait for anyone else. This
Yeah.
is the time.
Do it for yourself
Yes, do
because,
it for
you can live
yourself.
your life differently.
Exactly. Do it for yourself. Who else motivates you? For me, my two little cheeky girls. Do it for the people who motivate you. I see their smile. I'm like, I'm gonna do it for you. Wipe my tears away and say, I'm gonna do it for you, and I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet it was scary, to launch a book, write a book, get your story out there. I bet it was
Yeah,
scary, but you
yeah,
had to overcome that.
yeah. And even in the book, I wasn't able to, because it wasn't my personal book, so I couldn't write the whole thing, every single detail. We tried to keep it motivating and inspiring rather than, an autobiography of everything that has happened. So there are things that I haven't shared in the book just because it's a collaboration, so you have to do it within a certain theme. So it's more motivating rather than, let's say, pouring your heart out and speaking about everything that has, shaped you as you are right now. But yeah,
Mm.
so yeah, we've got the book, and
Hey, you got opportunity to write your own now.
I'm thinking about that.
So you kept that bit on purpose so you can create your own book now.
Yeah, probably. Again, everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it was such a pleasure to have
Thank
you
you so much.
here. To share your story, to help other women to feel more confident, empowered, and take self-love with a different approach or different view. So really amazing session.
Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to inspire other women.
Yeah, it has been absolute pleasure to host you and work with you, leading up to this workshop. And ladies, thank you so much who joined us today. Whether, you joined us live and interacted and asked any questions, and also whoever will be watching this on replay. So from today's session, we will have a workbook available within the members club as usual. So within a few days time, we will upload a workbook. So if you want to just kind of catch the snippets of this workshop and remind yourself of all the things that we spoke about today, the workshop will be available there. I know one or two people that are not members yet and joining us today. So if you want to find out a little bit more about our members club, I will just post the link here. So if you want to find out how you can access all of our workshops like this on a weekly basis, and also our community and ebooks and all the other benefits, so go ahead and check us out. And obviously to the members who are supporting us and joining us on the weekly sessions and, just being part of the community actively. Thank you so much, because that's what we do this for, to serve you and to help you grow on, for your business and also on a personal level. So I hope these workshops are of value to you. Kate, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day. And obviously, we'll see you within the group. So, any ladies that want to kind of connect again, you'll find Kate within our main Women in Business community group.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, I'll see you very soon. And everyone, enjoy your day today. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.